and I had to go over to my nana's house, and she opened the door. She looked at me and she was like, "Well, you look like a canary's arse." Hello, I'm Luke Evans, and today I am talking to Attitude about my life lessons. When writing my memoir, what I learned about myself were lots of things. I mean, it took 10 months to write, and every week I would start in different points of my life, and I was going back like 40 years some points, and I was always very impressed at my bravery and my strength of mind and my mindset at such a young age, knowing clearly who I was and what I would not put up with and how I would survive certain points in my life. That was a fascinating thing to go back and remember about myself when I was young. In reflection of my memoir and my story, I think one of the best decisions I ever made was to call the Samaritan. I was given his number when I was about 14, and that man was a very kind man who listened to my problems and my story. I was a gay kid in a religious household, and I couldn't speak to anybody, and I felt alone and isolated and wondered whether I was the only person in the world that felt the way I did. And he told me I wasn't alone, and that I would also be happy, and I would find my people and find my life. And those words stuck with me for a very long time. So, making that phone call. The worst decision was probably dyeing my hair blonde when I was 13 years old from a bottle with my friend from the top of the street, and it turned out very, very, very yellow. And I had to go over to my nana's house, and she opened the door. She looked at me and she was like, "Well, you look like a canary's arse." If I could change anything from my past, what would it be? Nothing. I don't have regrets. What's the damn point? Regrets don't help you. The only thing you can do when looking back in the past at choices you've made or mistakes you've made is to learn from them. That's the only value looking back in the past has. I don't hold regrets. I'm not someone that looks backwards. I look forward. And I think that's the best way to live your life. Change the things you can change, not the things you can't. If I could tell my 16-year-old self something, 16 was a really pivotal moment in my life. It was the year that I made the decision to leave home, which is a very young age to leave your parents' home, your family home. But if I could speak to him at that point, I would probably tell him that he was doing the right thing and that it was all going to be okay. I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in life is to take opportunities when they arise. Sometimes they're not obvious, and sometimes they're scary, and sometimes they're too good to be true. But when they come your way, to take them, if you can. They're not frequent. Opportunities are not all the time, and so you have to have your eyes opened to when they do come your way, because opportunities are things that can change your life. Really completely change your life, and I'm very aware of that as I have grown through my life. The opportunities that came to me were huge, momentous things that changed who I was and where I am. A moment that I will treasure forever will be the day that I went home to my mum and dad and was able to give them the keys to their next door neighbor's house. That was a very special day because it was a wonderful thing I could do for my mum and dad to protect them, secure them safely, financially. And I did it before I did anything for myself. And I'll always remember that moment as a lovely thing for both them and for me. You know. What does happiness look like to me? It can be many things. I mean, it's to be happy in your job is a wonderful thing because we spend so much time working in our lives. I have that. I'm very lucky to have a job I love and I'm very passionate about. And I think happiness is about living your life to the full and being yourself. There's a real depth of happiness that comes with being your authentic self to be happy with yourself provides a sense of serenity and calmness. And when you're happy with yourself, everything else in the world just seems a little easier. My life motto is life. Take it, breathe it, live it, love it. There's been many turning points in my life which have been very, very important and in retrospect changed the course of my life. One turning point was a professional one when I wrote a card to a casting director at the Donmar warehouse. She responded 7 days later. It was about a play. I knew they were doing a play about two Welsh boys, and I couldn't get an audition, so I thought, fuck it, why don't I just write a card? And she received the card, called me in, and 3 weeks later I got this role, and that role changed my whole career. It was a play called Small Change, written by Peter Gill. Me and an actor called Matt Ryan played the roles of these two Welsh boys, and from that play I signed with an agent in America, a manager, a new agent in London, and within a year I was in my first movie, and that was 16 years ago. So yeah, a mad moment. I think all of the projects I've worked on have come with their own set of unique challenges. If you throw yourself into each job, each role, each character, you will experience challenges in each one. And I embrace challenge. I love challenge. Challenge is how you grow and learn things about yourself. One of the best bit of advice I've ever been given was from a much older actor who told me many years ago that you wouldn't understand this now, he said, but one day you'll understand the most powerful word you have in your vocabulary is no. No doesn't necessarily mean you are saying it in a negative way or stopping yourself from growing. No sometimes opens many doors and often is a protection, and I've realized that over the years. No in business can be an incredible thing. It opens other opportunities that you didn't necessarily know or would never have known you'd had if you'd said yes. It's a very powerful thing to be able to say, and don't be afraid to say it. The best bit of professional advice I think I've been given is to swing with the punches. Accept the knockbacks and the rejection and the failures, but don't dwell on the losses. Just celebrate the wins. You have to look after yourself in this business, and you are sort of a one-man band at the end of the day. You make all the decisions yourself, and you have to protect yourself. Best bit of advice for attitude readers? Well, I'm sure most of you are doing what I'm about to say, but for any that may be feeling a little lost or struggling or going through a dark point in your life, which we all do, you're not alone. But be brave and be unapologetically yourself. Live your life, because life is for living, not for observing.